Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're going to rate these players for the last time from Survivor season 43. This is an end of an era, Sarah.
It is. It's an end of an era, and I'm not letting David talk yet. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And you guys, we're so excited to have this special guest tonight for our final ratings of the season.
Drum roll, please.
Yay!
I'm so happy to be here. We were just, before we went live, they were like, should we do it like different? And David's the co-host. And I was like, no, let me be the guest to this episode.
That's right. David is just a guest. We shall cater to you.
I love it.
Obviously, we've been recapping together all season, but you haven't rated yet.
Not yet.
So you have some dice to give out.
That's right. I did some research in advance.
Well, you watched the episode.
I did. But I was looking up some, some stats and whatnot before.
Ooh, stats.
Not stats. Oh, dear.
I'm a numbers person, Sarah. You know that.
I love it. Well, we only have 5 players here. So we're going to go through, give out some dice, talk about it. I've got the audience's numbers. But then we're also going to talk a little end game here. We got a final tribal coming up this week. We've got to get down to 4 to 3 to whatever here. So let's talk about that as well. But hello to everybody.
Can I ask a question?
Coming in. Yes, of course.
Should I be giving dice based on the most recent episode, or is this like a season-long performance kind of thing, since this is a final time we're giving dice and doing rankings?
Well, Chantele and I definitely do week by week.
Okay, got it.
But some guests do collective season. So I'm going to leave that up to you.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Very good.
You just have to defend it.
Yes.
That's
I'm
right.
ready.
That's right, Lady Di. David's just a special guest.
That's right.
All right. Well, classic. Chantele, you're going to start us off.
For the last time, starting off with Cassidy. Cassidy, I mean, a lot of people are really rooting for her online. They really want her to be this winner. They feel like she's getting a winner's edit. And I'm not really feeling that personally. Like, I really like Cassidy. I think that it was really impressive that she won her second immunity challenge. But I just don't feel like she's moving the needle at all as to what's actually going on. She's looped into the strategy this episode, but she's never like the person that's pushing her own agenda and getting the board set up the way that she wants it to be in order for her to win. So I was going to give her a 3 just because I feel like, she's kind of middle of the road, but because she won immunity and she was she was in on this big blind side, I'm going to bump her up to a 4, but I don't fully think that Cassidy is going to win this season.
Okay.
Okay, David, your turn with Cassidy.
I actually don't think she's getting a winner's edit at all. I find that she's being left out, in my opinion. I think she's like left out of a lot of the like best edit moments, but what I like about her game, I agree with you, Chantele, that she's getting looped in to all of these decisions. So I feel like that speaks to how she's positioned herself in the game, right? Like she's getting the correct information from people. I'm sort of going to give my scores on a season-long, performance basis. So I'm going to give her a 3 because she was only on the wrong side of the vote on the Janine vote. Every other time she's been looped in, I just feel like she needs that breakout moment that Jessie just had, where she's like been kind of Carla's deputy all season. And if she can get her out, get Jessie out. I mean, if it's final 3, Cassidy, Gable, or Owen, I'm not counting Cassidy out for a win, but I would say overall, I don't think she's getting the flashiest edit. I don't see her making it to the final 3, and I'm going to go with a 3 for her.
Yeah, she is definitely a fan favorite. Like Twitter loves her, and I get that she's a cool person, and I love that she can win immunity. She is like a little puzzle queen, and I really, really enjoy that about her. I felt middle of the road with her though this week for sure. She has sort of peaked. I think I might have given her a 2 at some point. Like I wasn't sure what was happening, but I definitely gave her higher dice some weeks. But this week I was confused. I do think, Chantele, I do give her a little bit more credit than you do, where like I feel like she has planted seeds and she has gotten, social game wise, like some communication out there that has helped a vote, but she's never directed a vote. She's never had that sort of power. And this vote, I didn't feel like she really had much say. She was kind of just like, oh, we're going to go this way and then we're going to go this way. And so I was feeling a 3 for her, but I did give her a dice because of that immunity win. So I am going to give her a 4 right now.
Okay.
The audience gave her 4 because they love her. So she is going to average out to 4 dice this week.
All righty.
I think you hit the nail there. If she sits next to Owen and Gabler, she may win.
Yeah.
May win.
I have arguments. I have arguments for it being any configuration, I think.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like she wins at all. Please argue, Chantele.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know that she doesn't win at all, but I'm thinking that she's sitting next to Gabler and Owen. I could see Gabler pulling out a win because Gabler, they've been hiding his storyline a little bit, and they've been doing that whole like shock like moments or shock game moves that we haven't seen, and I could see them doing that with Gabler. I don't know if they could do that with Owen necessarily, but like if Owen like wins the last couple of immunities and like it takes out Jesse or something. Jesse and Carla, he could win in the end. I just don't know if I can see Cassidy doing any moves in these last 2 rounds that these other 2 guys wouldn't do that would be able to get her the win around them. But it's still a maybe, obviously, but I feel like those 2 guys might be able to pull out a win instead of Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know but her immunity wins are pretty good.
Owen has 2 as well, right?
Yeah.
Gabler has 1.
And Carla has 2 as well.
So
she's not necessarily like jumping out as like, the comp beast this season. She's just had a couple of impressive individual wins. But yeah.
What did you guys think about her outing Carla's idol?
I liked that. I mean, I didn't like it insofar as I love Queen Carla and I don't want anyone to betray her. And I kind of am upset that she's like losing her grip on the game.
You might feel betrayed by me because Carla and I have fallen apart.
Oh no.
Well, but I mean, like, so I couldn't figure out if I should reward her or not for it. Because I was like, okay, she did do damaging things to Carla's game. So like, do I reward her for that? Because she basically made Carla kind of a target and, screwed up her game this week. But I don't know that that's great for her game.
I don't know. I mean, I think we all gave Jesse credit, which we'll get to, but we all gave him credit for backstabbing Cody. So I think we should give Cassidy a little bit of credit for spilling some secrets of her number 1 ally.
Well, and I also think with Cassidy as well, like it was nice to see that she wasn't just going to listen to anything that Carla said and like, oh, she's still going to protect her, even though Carla has kind of thrown her under the bus and shown that she doesn't really care for her allyship as much as, Cassidy did beforehand. So I think she kind of took a little bit more ownership of her own game and wasn't like all about Carla. She's like, no, she has an idol. Like she wasn't willing to keep that secret anymore because she lost that trust with Carla. So I'm okay with it.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Well, Gabler is up next. David, you get to start us off with Gabler.
Okay. Again, looking over the course of the whole season, post-merge, I was like, is Gabler going to like come alive and be this like insane immunity? Because that first immunity win that he got was so impressive. But that was really it. I mean, I think in the past couple of episodes, he's trying to position himself as this like master, move maker within the game. And he was calling out Jesse and Cody in a moment when we, the audience, felt like they needed to be called out. And it was like, is Gabler going to be the one to mastermind this? But ultimately, I just don't think, I think he's kind of in a similar position to Cassidy in terms of not having the sway to make the big move and orchestrate it and get people to come along. But I think he's playing a little worse than Cassidy overall, so I'm giving Gabler a 2.
The silence. The silence. Across the world.
Stunned silence.
Well, I'm going to contrast you a little bit here.
Please.
I am going to give Gabler a few more flowers than that. Yeah, we were like, what is happening? I mean, we've been saying that about Gabler since the beginning. Like, what was happening on his original tribe?
Oh my goodness.
Then he just comes out a swinging at Marge. I mean, we cannot keep up with him, but he fell to the bottom, and he has been like, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? Social game, what, not stepping on too many people's toes. And here he is this week. I think he said something so pivotal to what happened at this tribal. And that was when he told Jesse that Jesse and Cody have just about the same games, and you sit next to him. How do you win over Cody? And that festered right here in Jesse's head. And I think because of that, we got what we got out of Jesse. So I am bumping Gabler up to a 4. I am impressed.
I mean, I definitely was impressed by the fact that he was able to recognize that, like, there are these 3 duos and they both have a really similar story. So the best chance you have at winning is not sitting beside any of them in order to be able to have, like, that story be your own. So I too agree with you, Sarah, but I don't know if I could go all the way up to a 4. I think I'm gonna have to stay middle of the road with Gabler here and give him that 3. Yes, I was impressed by this, but I don't know if he intentionally knew that all this was going to go down if he tells this to Jesse. I don't know if it was, I think it was just having a conversation. I think it was a very smart thought to have, but I don't know if it was like completely intentional. So yeah, I can't give him any more props than a 3. A 3 prop.
You don't think a game conversation is intentional? I mean, he said the same thing about Carla to Cassidy. It wasn't like he was just focused on Cody and Jesse, but it was a strategic conversation.
I mean, and I love a good strategic conversation, but I still think that Cassidy winning that immunity, and I gave her a 4. I don't think I can bump up Gabler here. So he's a high 3. How's that?
No, 3. Well, the audience gave him a 3 as well, and so he is going to average out at a 3 dice for today. Now let's talk about Gabler's win capability. Even though I gave him 4 dice, I ain't saying he's winning this game. Is there a chance that Gabler wins this season?
Yes, I do think, and like I don't even know if I could face Danny if he wins, because like I was like Gabler, like because I wasn't in with the draft immediately, and I watched it back, and as soon as I saw that pick, I was like heckling him, and I just couldn't have the pie in my face after that one. So I really just can't have him win. I definitely see him sitting in the final tribal. I can see a lot of people bringing him there. And I do think he could win because he's already talked about wanting to break up Cody and Jesse. And then this whole big move happens. I think that he's definitely going to have his eyes on wanting to get Jesse out, but he might get screwed over by the Janine idol. And so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But I could see him wanting to get Jesse out and being like, let's gather the numbers, let's vote Jesse out. And it's going to be like, basically, who is Jesse going to decide that he wants out of the game? And so I'm not sure how that is going to shake out, but I don't really see him in that great of a position just because nobody knows about the Janine idol.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think I would love to see a scenario where Gabler beats Jesse at fire or something like that. I mean, Gabler's like a military guy. I feel like, I don't know if we've like really seen him making fire in a meaningful way so far this season, but I would love to see something like that, because what I like about Gabler that, even if we haven't seen him like really making something happen and like rallying the troops, as it were, to like get somebody big out, he's thinking about the narrative of his game and the story that he would tell in the final tribal. I mean, even if us as viewers are like, I don't know about that, I feel like he's like, how do I twist this? And how do I connect those dots and craft that story that I'm the one, like you're saying, Sarah, who planted that seed or made them think twice about whatever. So I would love to see him in the final tribal just to hear what that pitch is that he's going to make.
I think you have high chances of seeing that. I think Jesse's going to play an idol this week. I think you're right. Well, obviously this week, but at that first tribal will be his last chance to play it. Nobody knows about it. So anybody who tries to vote for him, which they're all going to probably do if they're smart. But I don't think he's going to target Gabler. I think Gabler's just not high on the target list. Yeah. I don't think.
They think he's a goat.
I feel like we're going to see him in the end, and I think that he could craft a pretty good story and get some votes. I don't know that he wins. I'm not sure who he beats necessarily, but I think he could get a few votes.
What do you think the general jury feeling is about Gabler? Does he have enemies on the jury, or are they just like, oh, sweet Gabler?
I don't think that they think that he has any chance of winning. I feel like he's in that kind of position. I call it like the Xander effect of it all. Like, I feel like he's in kind of that spot. But I could be completely wrong because, as I said before, I feel like they're leaving a lot out of his strategy and like out of his gameplay. So we might be surprised by, how they feel about him just because we haven't seen it. But for me, for what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem like they fully respect his game.
Yeah, I don't think he's made enemies. I think that they have all been like, whoa, ever since merge, or like Gabler is a bit of a wild card, right?
Yeah.
So, and is Sammy, Sammy's on the jury, and Sammy's going to be like, this guy, what? So I don't know that translates to votes and respect. I'm not.
I also was kind of surprised in like looking over the voting history that Gabler was only he was only left out of the vote one time on the Dwight
Really?
vote. Yeah.
God, he made such a stink about it. So that's probably why
I know.
Only one time.
It seemed like he was more of an Owen character who was like constantly being left out, but it seems, he somehow finds the right information by the time they go to tribal.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's played a really good like middle guy here lately. All right, Jesse's up next, and it is my turn to start. And Jesse, let me count the ways how much I love you. I'm sorry, but he is just sitting at a 5, and he's been there for a minute because he just keeps stepping up to the plate and doing whatever it has to be done. And he obviously played such a good social game that he can now be in this attack mode, and people are still kind of trusting him or working with him. I think they're only now going, holy crap, Jesse is so dangerous. Carla obviously super trusted him. She gave him some, and tried to get him to like stick up for her and lie to Cassie. And he was like, no, not going to do it. So he obviously had that good balance to now be so savage, and he is savage. This play where he used Cody's own idol to get Cody out, give the man all of the dice. What else can I say?
Well, what I think was so awesome is that this episode was like a real Survivor episode. This is like we used to watch this 10 seasons ago. This is like, oh my God, Survivor is so good because we're always having these epic tribal councils or what I perceived as an epic tribal council. And we're seeing this gameplay, we're seeing this savage move, and we're like, oh my God, he's doing it for his family. It was such a visceral move. I got goosebumps. I was crying, but I was like, anyways, it was a pretty phenomenal move. I couldn't give him anything less than 5 dice. If I could give him 6 dice, I would. And what I also think is pretty amazing is that he keeps on having these mic drop moments at tribal. So I don't see anybody being able to beat him if he's sitting in the final 3, no matter what. But he could have another mic drop moment when he reveals either next episode or next tribal council that he has Janine's idol. So that could be the mic drop moment, or he wins that first immunity because Jeff is he's never won immunity yet. And so he might win an immunity here. And then he gets to mic drop moment and get the Marianne effect of it all and win. I mean, he would win even without that mic drop moment, but we're waiting for the jury to be like, oh my gosh, Jesse has been playing a phenomenal game. He hands down wins against anybody, and he's having all the major moments this season. He's definitely the season. Like he is, it's his story. So if he doesn't win, it'll be really disappointing. But this is the story of Jesse. Lopez, I think his last name is.
David?
Yeah, 5. He is far and away playing the best game. He's getting far and away the best edit. That whole like masterclass in how to orchestrate a blindside, and then the way he stabbed both Cody and Carla in the back in this most recent episode. He has had 0 votes against him the entire season. He is so well positioned socially. He somehow got in and convinced Cassidy to trust him over Carla, the person that she's trusted all season. He's never been on the wrong side of the vote. It's like he kind of has a flawless report card. The only thing that he's lacking is an actual immunity win. But I think to play the way that he has and to potentially make it into the final tribal without needing an individual immunity win, that is major. And he could actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, not only did he take out Cody, who was his number one, and probably one of the other biggest threats to win the game entirely, but he flushed Carla's idol and kind of screwed up her game, right?
Yeah.
Like she is just not in the place that she has been this entire game. So yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit. And if we start talking, I won't talk end game yet. I will go ahead and say that audience also gave him a 5. So he is all the 5s, all the dice. He gets all the dice. So end game though here, if he makes it to final tribal, which he's in such a good spot that he more than likely does, he wins, right? I don't think anyone has a case against him.
No.
No, absolutely not. It's all happened in front of the jury as well, and like the jury has been really involved in these big moves. You could hear a lot of chatter happening, being like, "Why aren't they playing anything? What's going on?" Like, they're really invested in what's going on at Tribal, and so I'm sure that Noelle was just like eating up that move.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I think she's gonna be really, really his cheerleader over there. And I think that Cody's eventually going to forgive him, being like, man, like he got me, like he's my guy. Like I have to vote for him here. And so I think that he'll get over it pretty soon after. And then everybody, there's just no argument for anybody else to win next to him. So yeah, he's got this if he gets to the end for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw proof of that with the jury, because at first Jesse was acting like, I'm just along, don't make any big moves. Y'all tell me how to
do the
vote.
dance, how we should dance.
Yeah. And the jury was like, what? They were already like, that doesn't compute, Jesse. Like, you've known everything that's ever happened in this game. And so then when it twisted at the end and it reveals that he's like, sorry, my bad. I did that.
Savage move. Sorry,
yeah, they're like, what, Jesse? Oh my god, Jesse! Like they gave all the credit. They already knew that was all Jesse. Obviously, Cody's gonna fill in the details when he gets there. So yeah, I
like it. Even how he does it, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So like, I'm like, oh my god, that hurts so much. Cody's gonna be so hurt here. Oh my gosh, but he did it. Like he was willing to do it.
All right, that takes us to Carla. Chantele, if you will start us off with our queen, our fallen queen.
It's a fallen queen, absolutely. And I think, the fact that we gave her 5s for pretty much most of this season.
Yeah.
And she really fell really, really hard. I was hoping to give her maybe a 3, middle of the road this episode, but it's actually still too high for me, for the fact that she thought that she was in so good with Jesse that she was making the whole story about the telenovela and how great of a liar that she is, and she deserved an Emmy. And then to see her face after she realizes that she got duped, she used her idol when she didn't need to use it, she had absolutely no idea what was going on. I got to give her a 2 this week. I'm sorry, Carla, but it's so a 2 for me.
Wow.
It's a
I don't know
long
if she
way to
can win.
go.
I don't know if she can win anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Her limbs don't work.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
David,
rough.
how are you feeling about Carla?
Listen, I can't be that savage. Okay. Props to you, Chantele, for
you don't have a little bit of a Jessie in you? I got a little bit of Jessie in me.
you spoke truth, and I hear everything you said, but I'm just doing the season long thing, and I'm gonna give Carla a 3 because she was so strong for so long, but she completely lost her grasp on it, and like she's just to me been an unexpected player from the beginning. Even I'll never forget how she said herself, like, I thought I was going to be first out this season. And here I am. And now I'm like playing the middle of my tribe early on. And all these people trust me and all this stuff. And then for her to win, 2 individual immunities, I don't think anybody really saw that coming necessarily. So she's been just like a delightful surprise, I thought, all season. But it's tough to see her game kind of completely implode over the course of a single episode.
Music. The music. It was so, I mean, it was great. It was fantastic.
It was great.
But it was just so bad for her game and her win equity, in my opinion.
So bad.
Look, her telenovela was some good acting. I mean, she had Cassidy believing her. She had Cody believing her.
Yeah.
I mean, her telenovela acting was going well. But yeah, I do want to say she won reward, but I'm going to give more credit to Owen for that. Her body is unfortunately failing her. I don't know if you guys heard, but Cody stole all the electrolytes that day. So apparently they're given like a packet of electrolytes when they have to compete on immunity, or maybe they get them every day. I'm not sure. And Cody took everybody's. So her cramping, some people are saying like she didn't have her electrolytes. I don't know. Her body has been failing for a while. She's been injured. It's a tough thing to watch, but she completely got bamboozled by Cody. Before Jesse's plan even stepped up, she was like, yeah, Cody, great idea. You're a genius. Let's do this. So even if Jesse hadn't stepped up, she would have gone because she was believing Cody. And then Jesse just took it a different turn and flushed her idol and made her game poo-poo. So I really wanted to give her more dice, you guys, but I just couldn't. I am going to also give her 2 dice.
Wow.
But to be fair, Chantele and I have given her so many 5s. So that's why I feel like I can give her a 2, because it is just for this week.
Okay.
She can change things up. I'm not saying she is going to lose, but we'll talk about that in a second, because I will go ahead and say that the audience gave her a 3. So she is going to average out with 3 dice.
Okay.
It's a high 2.
All
She's
right.
going to get 3 dice. But let's talk about her end game here, because it is not looking as good as it was for the majority of this season.
No.
But if, let's say, Jesse's not at the end, does Carla have a chance?
The reason why I don't think she does really is that all of her big blunders have been in front of the jury, and it just looks bad. It looks like she doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know what she's doing. And so all of her resume was pre-jury. And so it just seems like everybody just witnessed her lose her hold on the game, and her believing that she's in a better position than she actually was. I feel like when she gets to the final tribal council, she'll be defending her game as opposed to being someone to showing like, this is what I did. This is how just because she's going to be on the back foot, like trying to like get people to believe her and give her the win. I just don't know if that's a very strong position for somebody to be talking at the final tribal. I feel like she has a very low win equity here.
Yeah. She just had a stronger pre-merge game, and she really did, own that, and maybe part of the early merge. But I think even the early merge, she was more just like playing this game where she was laying low, and it felt like she was like waiting for her moment to strike. And then when she struck, she missed, and she actually, of the 5 that are left, she's been wrong on the vote twice, which is only, worse, only better than Owen. Like everybody else has a better voting track record than Carla. And
Really?
I think you're right. They just have watched her game kind of fall apart and like it's really tough to see it fall apart this close to the end. And when you end up in those final 3 chairs, you're right, Chantele, you're on defense at that point.
I don't know if I can agree with this.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Apologies, Chantele, but I am going to disagree with you. Only because, well, for a lot of reasons, but this episode, Jesse said, I can't let Cody take out the biggest threat in this game and put that on his resume. So there is a mindset that Carla is a threat to win this game. And if you think just a few episodes back to when they were split up on 2 and we had 2 different tribals, the one without Carla was completely considering how their vote was going to affect Carla. So I do feel like she was playing well and that they had high opinion of her. So if she were to sit at the end without Jesse, I think they respect her game more. The bulk of the jury respects her game more than Cassidy. I think they respect it more than Owen. And I feel like they respect it more than Gabler. So I kind of feel like she still has a chance to win. She will be on the defense. She will have to prove stuff. She will have to explain to James why the heck she did that. I mean, I think she's definitely going to have to explain some things, but I feel like she still has a decent chance to win.
I also don't know if I can see her getting there anymore. With the fact losing this idol, I think that she, like you're saying, like if people think that she has even a slight chance of winning, if they can't get out Jesse, I think that she would be the next person to be taken out here. So I don't know if I see her making it past the next tribal council, and I'm not sure about her fire making skills, but does she beat anybody else making fire? I'm not sure about that either. So I actually
also her hands.
Right, exactly. She has problems with her hands. She cut her hands and it's cramping. Like, I'm just not sure if I can even see her getting there. And so that's also could be why I have not been really considering her as a contender, is because I just don't know if I see her getting to the end anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And unless she wins immunity, I think she's out next.
Yeah, exactly.
Because who's talking to? She just got left out of this major vote. They're all conspiring against her now.
Sometimes that's helpful though when you're on the bottom, but yeah, you think they take her out over Cassidy?
Cassie was in on that vote, so they might have been having conversations, right? Yeah. I don't know if they're as scared of Cassidy as they could be of Carla. So I think that, I think Carla would be where, I guess it would be Jesse is going to aim if he'll finish it himself, kind of thing. Because if he didn't want Cody to take that shot, he's going to take it himself. So
that's right. That's right.
Very possible. Oh my gosh, poor Carla.
I know.
This is hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, our last one is for you to start us off, David, with Owen.
Poor Owen. He's on your draft team, right, Chantele?
Only person I got left. My first draft
Listen,
pick. Yeah.
I am rooting for him for that reason and that reason alone. Because I just
not even the Peanuts,
no.
David and I don't know the Peanuts. We're like,
oh, really?
Actually, I've heard. I'm aware of them, but like, we don't know who all the Peanuts are.
Oh, the Peanuts characters when he compared everybody to Peanuts characters. Charming, but no, I'm not rooting for him for that reason either. And I am giving Owen one die.
Okay, you're going to have to explain one dice for Owen.
Here's why. Because even when he was like part of this master plan, he was used as a pawn in it. Jesse played an idol on him in order to flush the idol from Carla because Owen was supposed to be the plan. So he's still this like, gimme, like, let's get Owen out. We're all against Owen. And Jesse was like, I'm going to use you, Owen, to also flush. So they're just using him. They're throwing him around wherever they want. He's a number when they want him to be. And when they don't need him to be a number, they'll just completely leave him out of the vote. Because why would we need to tell Owen anything? So I gave him a one special guest tonight.
Wow.
This is a blind side.
Yes, I feel blindsided. Look, Owen has been on the wrong side of the boat. He's been left out. Like he said himself, he's the GOAT. Take him to the end. He can't win. But he is peaking in my mind, y'all. He's gonna get a few more dice here. He was really active in his communication this game. He was heavily involved in the Cassidy Carla thing, making sure that Cassidy knew that Carla was going to vote her out. Like, he was trying to stir the pot, plant some seeds. He made it clear that he wanted Carla out. I felt like he was more involved in this vote than he has been in most votes. And again, David, I'm going week by week here, unlike you. And also, I think his performance on the reward challenge was worthy of a dice in and of itself. I mean, it wasn't immunity, but I put most of that credit to him. That was a beautifully executed reward challenge. And so I'm giving Owen 4 dice.
Oh my God. Ludicrous.
Wow. Thank you, Sarah, for supporting my last man standing here.
This is definitely the highest I think I've ever said.
I knew you'd have my back here in this situation.
Yeah, I got you, girl.
I personally can't go as high as you because I do think it's a little bit high for Owen because yes, he was involved in this vote and like he knew what was going on. He was part of both plans that were being hatched. Like he knew what was really happening this week. And I think that is impressive. I do think it's impressive that he was like one of the major factors as to why they won that reward challenge. Absolutely. But I still have to give him a 3 for the fact that I don't know if anybody is fully taking him seriously. I've been saying for the last few weeks that I think he lost his game momentum like way back at Baca when he didn't stand up for Janine and Ellie. Like he needed to keep those women, those numbers, people that are willing to work with him, willing to vote with him. And he was just willing to let them go and be quiet. And so I feel like he kind of lost the game and lost being part of the season kind of way back when. But I have to also recognize that pretty much every episode, he starts off like narrating everything. Like he's talking a lot and people don't talk a lot when they are going to lose badly. So I could see him maybe getting to the end and maybe getting some votes. Like maybe Jesse doesn't get to the end and maybe he has a story that he could be able to tell here. That's like, hey, I've not, you know, I have been on the outside of these votes, but like I've been working to stay in here. And we saw it do well for Taylor being like perseverance and being able to withstand. And I did literally what this game is called Survivor. I survived. And so I don't know. I could see him maybe making a really compelling speech because he's been narrating a lot this season. So I can't go as high as a 4, but I'm going to give him a 3 because I do want to support my guy here. But I don't actually know if he's going to win, but I'm really still hoping that he can get me enough points so I don't like be second last place in the draft.
Yes.
Second to last because you're sure that I'm going to be last.
You are last.
Yes.
For sure. Audience gave him 3 dice, so he is going to average out at 3, a high 2.
Wow.
For Owen. Let's talk about his end game here. Okay. Well, Chantele, you said a couple things. So David, why don't you sound like you don't think he has a chance to win?
I just think he's getting he is getting a really sweet edit. And he sort of maintains a lot of camera time every episode. And you're right, Chantele, he is a great narrator. And I think, you know, they get great sound bites from everybody. So the fact that they're using a lot of his, I do think is indicative of something. I think he will definitely be in the final 3 and he may end up getting 1 or 2 votes. But I just feel like the only thing he really has going for him is that they could have gotten him out 6 times and they just never did. You know, he just kept surviving and he was everybody's kind of backup plan. And maybe he can frame that as like, y'all didn't realize that I was this huge threat and you thought you could get me out whenever, but you actually couldn't. If he manages to beat a Jesse in fire, because like Jesse is going to play his idol this week and he's gonna make it to the final four, right? So then it's just a matter of like, does he win his way in or does he have to compete in fire or whatever? If Owen beats Jesse in fire and that's like some sort of big move, like if Owen wins the final immunity, takes off the necklace and competes against Jesse in fire and beats him, okay, maybe he wins the season. But
that was a scenario I was actually going to pose to you both. But so is that like he wins the sex immunity and then or the next one after, and then does not use it, gives it to somebody else that he doesn't think he will lose against, and then beats Jesse in fire. That would be like Chris Underwood.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'll just say that.
Except that you were there the entire season.
Exactly.
Underwood,
Exactly. You played more than 11 days. Not much more than 11 days because of the same era, but played more than 11 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Owen has some shot. I don't think he's out of it completely, even though he's like, what am I even doing here? But that means he's just so entertaining. He's such a fun character. He's really fun to watch. He's in this edit. You guys have already pointed this out, but it means something. It means that he's more than likely in the final three. It might mean what you're saying. Something big is going to happen that he does. Like this, it's foreshadowing something here. And even though I don't feel like he's got the votes right now, it's possible that he somehow is able to get the votes. If Carla and Jesse are out of the final three, then the Cassidy Gabler Owen mix is a bit more confusing to me. I'm not really sure how the votes fall, but I do feel like Owen gets votes in that configuration for sure.
It's all about endgame for all three of those. If Jesse and Carla end up being the next two out, it's who dominated, those two votes and immunities and fire and all of that, I think, because they're, to me, fairly neck and neck across the season.
Well, and in the last couple of seasons, like I did not think that Marianne was going to be winning at this point in the game, and I don't think I thought that Erica was either at this point in the game. So maybe it's going to be something interesting. By like that fun, I mean, he might do something flashy. And if we're talking about foreshadowing, we do hear a few episodes ago that he really just wants to feel the feeling of that necklace around his neck. And wouldn't that be beautiful foreshadowing if he has that necklace around his neck, but he takes it off to compete in fire for the win? Like, I don't know. Like, that I like reading the edit sometimes and a little bit of like the lore of it. I just got goosebumps. So I don't know if
Yeah, I almost lean towards more Owen than Cassidy, but I feel like the two of them are kind of similar. Like they haven't really run anything, but they're good in the edit and they're fan favorites as well. Not that that means anything, but that's really, really interesting. All right, so we definitely feel like that's all of our dice, but we definitely feel like Jesse wins no matter what.
Yes.
But then if he's not in it, it is a bit more of a mix for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would be Jesse would be number one. I guess I still would put Carla kind of in the number two position, maybe if she can get to the end. I just don't see her getting to the end. But if she's there, I do think that she might have enough of a story to tell that people would be able to respect her as a winner and represent the season. I think after that, I might have to put Owen, and then I think Gabler, and then I think Cassidy. I don't think Cassidy is as high up as the audience, or a lot of people in the audience think.
I think I flip. I agree with you. I would flip, and I would put
Gabler and
Gabler down there. And I don't know. I kind of put Owen and Cassidy together. It's hard to say which one's above them.
I hear that.
Yeah.
David?
This goes against maybe everything I just said in this entire 44 minutes.
Owen wins!
No. I'm going to put him second in terms of likelihood of winning. Jesse, then Owen, then Cassidy, Gabler, Carla.
David,
I know.
I mean, I understand it, though. I understand
it's only because of the recency of Carla's troubles. Like, I still think across the season she has played a better game, but people just care about the last 4 or 5 votes when you get to the jury. They don't care about the like early strategy. You know, It just doesn't play into it as much.
Well, do we have favorites? Who do we want to win?
Jess.
Owen. No, I'm just kidding. For the draft, for the sake of my draft, I can't. Like, I think it also would be hilarious to like be participating in 2 drafts and then like having the winner and not winning. I think it's kind of funny.
Yes.
So I would love to have that stat. Always having the winner but never winning. But Jesse is playing a game that I can relate to in the sense that like if I was out there, I'd want to be playing as hard as him. I would want to be making these savage moves. I would want to be like, hey, I'm doing this for my family. So like, sorry, man, like I got to take you out because I am here to win. I love having that drive. And so, yeah, I want to see that drive be rewarded because I want to see more people play like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so just for the record, let's talk draft. David has nobody left. He is stopped here at 15 points. Chantele still has Owen left, but she only has 20 points. The audience has Cassidy left, and they have 26 points. Oh, then God. Danny has Gabler left, and he's got 27 points. I have Jesse left, and I have 28 points.
Oh.
Jolene has Carla left with 31 points.
Wow,
so a little
this
close
one's a barn burner.
How many points are left to be distributed?
Good question.
Is there any negative points? So take some of you guys down a couple notches. Like no vote finalists?
No, there's no negatives. There's no negatives, but we have 2 more immunities, right? So that's 4 points total to go out. If there's any sort of reward, that's a point. If there's an advantage, which there usually is an advantage on this new beach, that's a point. If they're able to play it correctly, you get more points. If Jesse, let's say, uses this idol and saves himself, then he would get 2 points. If he uses the idol but nobody voted for him, they find out about it or something, he wouldn't get points for that. Everyone who makes it to final tribal council gets a point for that. And then you get points for every vote you get from the jury, as well as 3 points for the winner. So there's still quite a few votes that
I still have a shot in the dark.
You do, especially if Owen wins immunity, like, you know.
What about fire? Fire making is the winning fire. Does that? I guess it's kind of like an immunity.
I think that would fall into like reward or something. So yeah, you'd get points for that.
Okay, Owen,
come on,
faith
Owen.
in you.
Yeah, you can still get points for sure. Jesse hasn't won anything, so like even if he makes it to the end, I could still get like not that many points. But I feel like Owen's making it to the end, and I don't know, is Gabler making it to the end, which is going to keep Danny up there?
So much. So it's still shocking to me, but like Gabler's played a way better game than I was going to give him any sort of credit for.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was definitely wrong by my thought on how he was going to do.
Yeah. Right. When I had Desi on here and I told her that Gabler was Danny's respect, she was like, what? So I was like, okay, great. It wasn't like every former player was like, no, Gabler for sure. Because what was that? But yeah, I think he has surprised most of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cassidy Truthers, let's pray. Y'all are out there. We see you making it happen. We still love her. She's a fun character.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, I could see her coming back and in like 5 seasons and winning, you know what I mean? Like
100% coming back. She mentioned the monster earlier, you guys. Yes. She's in Jeff's pocket. She's coming back. That's she could absolutely win then for sure. All right. Is that it? Is this our final ratings? Is here. We did it.
Scary though.
I'm on Wednesday.
Scared for Jesse. I'm scared for him because like it's just like
Carla.
Well, I mean, Carla, I don't think is going to be last in the next episode. So, or like she's not going to.
Agreed.
She's not going to get to final. I don't.
That's why I'm scared.
I know, but like Jesse though, I'm scared for him like losing this game from fire. You know what I mean? Yep. It's like it's probably going to be from fire.
That's what it's going to be. Yep.
No.
And he's a Sagittarius. He's a fire sign. Like,
yeah, he's got this.
So maybe he'll win fire because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I'm
it's
not
just
worried
scary.
about
It's scary when he
Jesse.
won't have any protection other than like going up against fire in that spot.
That's it. That's the one time he is not going to be protected. And
isn't that what happened to Ricard? Or Ricard went out before that? I can't remember right now.
I think he went out before that.
I think he went out before. Do you think there's any scenario where Carla goes home next, Cassidy wins the last immunity, and Jesse somehow convinces her to bring him and make Owen and Gabler go against fire?
If he makes anybody convince anybody to bring him to the final two, like.
But if anybody could, I think he could.
Yeah. He's like, like.
It's very possible. Is it highly likely? Probably not. I do think that Carla might go next, and I do think Cassidy could very well win that next immunity challenge. But I think she's smart enough to put Jesse up against.
Yeah, you're right.
Whoever. I don't know. If he can bamboozle her, more power to him. He wins.
Yeah, she'd probably take Gabler, maybe thinking that Gabler would have the least respect. I'm not sure if Gabler or Owen, obviously it's going to be, I'm not 100% sure how she feels about them, but then imagine if it's like Owen against Jesse and Owen does pull out the win. Like it could be flashy enough. It could be.
I mean, is that what we're seeing in the edit? That would be insane.
Yeah.
It's flashy enough.
Crazy if we get somebody.
That's why I don't like this fire twist.
I know.
Because like it doesn't reward the person usually in a way that like it's like the whole season, the whole season about voting people off and getting in good with people and making strategic moves and all this stuff, and then you get taken out by making fire. It's just
but didn't we just see? Was it Marianne who beat fire? Wait, who was it? Who just beat fire and took out somebody we thought was going to be at the end?
Was it Omer? I can't remember right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Did he get that far?
I think Omer went out earlier. But I remember when fire was introduced and we were all upset because we wanted Ben to go home.
Absolutely.
And then they like introduced the fire twist and Ben won fire and beat Chrissy in the finals.
That was really hard to watch.
That was a dark timeline.
Yeah.
And I just wish that fire would go at this point, but now it's like part of the new era.
It is.
So if it takes out Jesse, like it would be really devastating, I think, for this season. It's still been a great season, absolutely, but like I just don't want to see Jesse go that way because that just it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
No,
but maybe we'll see like a clip, like backtrack, and we'll see him like practicing making fire that we never seen him do before.
Let's hope.
That's the secret scene.
Yeah.
Marianne beat the fireman. What was his name? Mike. At fire last season.
That was Mike insane. Was in the final three, wasn't he? Who was in the final three then?
Okay, maybe I'm reading.
Who's Mike?
Mike from I think he's from New York, fireman.
Oh yeah, the older guy. Oh wow. Huh.
Wait, maybe I'm misreading this.
Because I thought he was in the final three.
Yeah, I thought he was.
He was. You're right. I'm reading things quickly.
I think Mike beat somebody at fire, like somebody younger.
Mike? Okay, anyway, I can't read all these articles right now. Just tell me. I said who won Fire for Survivor 42, and they're just telling me who won season 42. Anyway, okay, I'll figure it out later. Was it Jonathan versus Mike in Fire? Is that what we're saying?
Okay.
Oh, Aquaman Jonathan got outed by Mike. That makes more sense. Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Oh, right, because everybody was expecting Jonathan to be in the final three.
Yes.
Potentially winning.
Well, all right. That wasn't as flashy, but it was very exciting. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, David, for coming on as a special guest this evening.
Thank you for having me.
David and I will be live this Wednesday for the finale. Right after the finale, we'll be talking about that. Chantele, what are you doing this week for the finale?
What am I doing this week? I don't know if I'll be doing anything for the finale. I might go to like a watch party. So I might be going somewhere live. And so my Wednesday, I haven't decided what's going to happen on Wednesday yet. But yeah, I'll be watching because I don't want to get spoiled. So I'll definitely be watching it at some point. Like live. I'll be watching it live.
Yeah.
I usually do the challenge on Wednesdays and then like watch Survivor after I do a challenge recap. But I think I might flip that and do Survivor so I don't get spoiled. So yeah, I'll either be watching or watching live. So that's that.
Well, Chantele, this is the last stream for us. And so happy holidays and happy New Year to you. Chantele will come back after the New Year to help with Australian Survivor.
Someone was asking if we're going to do a draft.
Okay. Let me get my New Year's together. All right, guys. Like,
do we know the actual starting date for Australia?
Yeah, we don't even know when it starts. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw it out there as a possibility, guys. We'll see what we can do. The cast is looking fabulous. Very, very excited for that in the new year. But thank you for your help this season, Chantele.
My pleasure. It was super fun. I didn't end up covering on my channel Survivor, so I'm like really happy to at least get to talk about each episode each week. So I was very, very happy to be here.
Yay! This has been a pretty fun season. I've liked it. I know some people
I liked it the best out of the new era seasons. Absolutely, it's definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Are you covering the traders?
I'm not covering. Okay, I'm up to date on Australia. I just finished this season today, and then I'm in the middle of episode 6 of the UK, I believe. It's quite fun. I'm very much enjoying it. So I will most likely figure out a way to cover traders US, especially with it being half of these reality stars. So
my gosh,
we're gonna figure out some way to cover
it. The cast is wild. Shocking cast, but very cool. All right, we got that. And there's a new season of Circle starting. Shuby's back on it, if anybody heard. Also, Brett from Big Brother is on it.
I saw that
first, and I was like,
You're like, am I gonna watch this season?
Kind of.
Oh, Shuby's on. Okay.
That's exactly what happened. I messaged you today, and I was like, I didn't know Shuby was going to be on it. He's like, it was just announced today. I was like, oh, because I was completely not seeing who was on the cast or anything like that yet. So yeah, I will watch for sure now.
All right. Well, thank you everyone who joined us live in the chat. I was going to see if the special guest picked up on anything.
Oh, and if you're joining us later, leave us a comment and tell us how much you loved Chantele doing the rankings this season of Survivor. And tell us your predictions for the end game.
The end game. That's right. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.